Wait, should I start from here? Yeah, so a 1 mana minion will at base have 3 stats. So 1 attack and 2 health, or 2 attack and 1 health. At base is like the base 1 cost minion, that will be the stats they have. And then a 2 cost minion would just plus 2 stats, a 3 cost plus 2 more stats, and so on. So like a 1 2 and then 2 3 3 4 and so on. So that's the base value for stats. So looking at this one, 2 mana minion, he should have 2 3. So he doesn't have 2 3. So he's missing 1 stat point. Basically he's missing half a mana of value. And then we look at his effect. After a hero attacks, draw a fell spell. So drawing a card, okay, so you just look at the standard cards that we have, like Arcane Intellect. That's a 3 mana draw 2, which tells you that drawing 1 card is worth 1.5 mana. So here it draws a card, so you have a value of 1.5. You lost a value of 0.5 from the stat. So there's a positive value of 1 mana here, but there's a requirement that you have to attack, and attacking on Demon Hunter, usually it would involve you using your hero power. So this card is actually not super high value at all. Okay, like you can compare this card to the card that already exists. Hang on, let me just show the card. So already exists is this 4 mana card. Where is it? I don't have it. This one. So see Felgorger here. Draw a fell spell, reduce its cost by 2. So 4 mana. So the stats wise it's losing by 2 points. But it's gonna reduce the cost by 2 and draw a fell spell. So this is already way better than the Fossil Fanatic that we see here. So I would say this is probably a bad card. Okay, this one on the right here, this is just the Naga card for Demon Hunter. Like most of the other classes, you already have a Naga whereby you play a spell first and then it activates. So this is just the one for Demon Hunter. And then if you look at the stats value, 3 mana for 3/4, that's good. So the lifesteal there is just the lifesteal plus rush is the bonus value of the card. So this is quite a valuable card, although it remains to be seen whether there will be a viable Demon Hunter deck that comes into play. Okay, and this one here, this one is a trash, completely garbage card, Topple the Idol. Dredge, reveal it and deal damage equal to its cost to all minions. So you're spending 5 mana to do an AoE to all minions, and it's random damage. So it's just garbage, really. It's just complete trash, this card. Okay, especially since Demon Hunter, as you guys know, already have this other card. Where is it? Wait, it's gone? The 5 mana AoE is gone? I see. Yeah, I was gonna say Demon Hunter already had that 5 mana AoE card, but I guess it's gone now. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, that doesn't change the fact that it's just a poor card because of the randomness from the dredge and just how high value it is, and it's damage to all minions, not just the enemy minions. So like the only way it will work is in a control deck, but I don't really see that coming out from Demon Hunter yet. Okay, but this one also the lifesteal, so maybe they're really pushing for some kind of late game Demon Hunter. But yeah, remains to be seen if a deck can be built from that. Okay, so moving on to the Druid card. So Druid here, obviously all 3 cards look to be pushing for aggro Druid. Like the current Druids that we have are just the Alignment Druid and the Ramp Druid. And there's no space for this Moonbeam. Okay, it does 2 damage. But basically it's the same, if you use it as removal, minion removal, it's basically the same card as this one over here, the Druid of the Reef, which is a 3/1 rush. Okay, if you use it for removal, it's basically this card. So Although I would say it's a decent card, the Moonbeam, I don't think it will work very well. Okay, and then for the other two, clearly they are trying to push for an aggro druid. So as you can see from the Herald here, give your other minions +1/+2. So this only works on the board. And the current druids that we have, Ram Druid and Lyman Druid, they are not going to play this card at all. So if they figure out some kind of aggro druid, this card will see play. Same for this Spirit of the Tides. It's kind of a weird card. So 2 mana for 2/2, so it's slightly less value. But the effect, it's going to happen every turn. So at the end of your turn, gain +1/+2. So basically, if you float a mana, this will be a 3/4. So basically, this is a 3 cost for 3/4. So basically, it's equal for its stats, and the only value you will get out of this card is if it actually survives for 1 turn, and then the next turn it can grow again. Otherwise, this is just a generic 3 mana 3/4. So not the strongest card either. I doubt it would actually see play. Okay, moving on to Hunter. So if you cast 3 spells while holding this, deal 5 damage. This is for sure a card that's going into aggressive Hunter, maybe like a Face Hunter. So Hunter, you already know there are spells like the Barb Nets, Arcane Shot, Wound Prey. All of these are really cheap, and Aim Shot and stuff. And then after that you deal 5 more damage. This is very good for Face Hunter. So we might actually see Face Hunter coming up. This one, Shell Shot, this one not so good because deal 3 damage to random. So first of all, the randomness is kinda bad. And then this is clearly a control card. It's not aggressive. And we don't really see a hunter that is a control hunter. Okay, the main reason is, why no control hunter? Just because of the hero power. The hero power is deal 2 damage, so it's not really like a control kind of hero power like warrior, gain 2 armor. So yeah, I don't really see a control hunter coming up, so I don't think this card is good. And this K9 so 2 mana to 3 Battlecry Dredge. So basically, stats wise, it fits its mana cost, so the Battlecry is the value. If it's a 1 cost minion, summon it. So the only way this is good, once again, is if it's in an aggro hunter. So you kind of maybe dredge out the Baby Naga, for example. But once again, it's kind of random if you actually find a 1 cost minion. I'm not sure how many 1 cost minion a Face Hunter will actually run. So this card also, it's okay, but it's not good. This one is great for Face Hunter. This one is great for sure. This one maybe okay. This one bad. Okay, moving on to Mage. So this Mage card, it transforms after you cast any of these spells. It's actually kind of value. So here are the transformations. So if you play Fire, it's going to become an AoE. Very strong AoE here. Armor not so strong, because armor is not very valuable. So gain 8 armor. Basically, it's like the warrior's heavy plate. So the value of this is just like 2 mana or so. 8 armor. The AoE is very strong. AoE is very strong. 6 to all. 2 damage to all is basically Blizzard, which is 6 mana value. This is very valuable. And then reduce the cost of spells in your hand. This is also very valuable, but I'm not sure how effective it is. Like currently, the only mage there is Naga Mage and the Pink Mage. And I wouldn't run this card in Naga Mage. Like, it would be good if I discovered it as a Naga. Then maybe I would play it. I would pick it if I discovered it. But I wouldn't run this in the deck. Okay, so yeah, not really sure if this will be the strongest card. Okay, moving on to this one. Death Rattle. Add 2 arcane spells. At end of your turn, discard them. I think this is just rubbish. Okay, this is probably just completely rubbish, because to play 2 arcane spells, first of all, you're gonna need the mana. This is a 2 mana, so imagine if you play this out at turn 2. The opponent kills it, you only have 3 mana to play 2 spells, and that might not even be your best play. The spells are random. So this will definitely see play in like a more control kind of mage. But yeah, like I said, we don't have a control mage in the current meta, so it remains to be seen if someone will develop a deck like that. Okay, this one on the other hand is quite an interesting card. So basically it's a cheap polymorph, so a 4/1 mage can kill this very easily. Basically any minion will be able to kill this. So, but this will most likely just be a tech card. For example, let's say the boar priests are suddenly rampant. Everywhere you see boar priests, then maybe you put this card in just to polymorph the boar. But like I said, with the current Naga Mage and Naga Ping Mage and Mag Mage, you won't really play this card. Like, there isn't a mage that relies on spell damage at the moment. Okay, yeah, so far, I guess we haven't come across a good card yet. Yeah, most of the cards are just meh. This one is good though, for Face Hunter. Okay, for Paladin, 9 mana frontline, this is a garbage card. This is most likely the worst card. So summon minion from both players. That repeat until either side of the battlefield is full. So first of all, why is it a bad card? It costs 9 mana. Which means that after you play this, you can't play anything else. So what kind of minions are you going to summon to your deck in a way that after doing that, you're going to win the game? Nothing, right? And the opponent summons minions as well, so I don't see why anyone would play this card. Like, I don't even think any minion is just worth it. Okay, moving on. This Myrmidon, after you cast a spell on this minion, draw a card. So this might be good, depending on how many. Okay, we can just take a look at the Paladin. So how many spells can you cast on the minion? So this Marquee roll 1. And Noble Mount 2. Okay, hold the bridge 3. This one no. And the only thing left is the Garden's Grace. So I mean, it's a good card for its stats, basically 3 mana 3/4, but it's really hard to get the effect off. So I would say I don't think this card will see play either. Okay, this one though, this Light Ray, this will most likely see play in the Control Paladin. Because as you guys, maybe you guys don't know, but Paladin decks, usually they play a lot of their own class cards. So like in a Control Paladin, eventually this is going to cost almost 0. So this might actually go into the Control Paladin deck right away. The Holy Paladin that we have now, this might actually go into it, like, for sure. It says 5/5 taunt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a slot for it. The only way it might not see play is if 9 mana is actually too expensive. But I don't think so. I think we'll be able to see this card come into play. Okay, moving on to Priests. Okay, Battlecry Dredge for your opponent. Set its cost to 6. Drown and Herald of Light. So all 3 of these cards go towards more of a control priest, and we do have a control priest in the meta, the Quest Priest. So these cards might actually see play. Especially this one, this Drown. This is basically a instant minion removal, which is very strong. So if the Quest Priest becomes a strong deck, this card will definitely be inside. And in fact, so will these other 2 as well. If Quest Priest becomes a strong deck, then both of those will see play. So pretty decent cards. Yep. Pretty good. Okay, especially this disarming one. This disarming one, kind of uncertain, okay? But imagine if you're playing against an aggro deck and you do this. it's gonna be really good. So yeah, so these three are good if Quest Priest becomes a stronger deck. So moving on to Rogue. Battlecry, your next death rattle minion costs 1 less, but immediately dies when played. So I'm confused as to what death rattle is fantastic. Maybe you'll see this in Bomb Rogue, although I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that there's a slot for this card in the Bomb Rogue. Okay, and then this one, okay, this one is a good card. Nothing, it's just a very, very good card. So first of all, it's stealth. So when stealth, it means that it's gonna survive for sure. And its effect is attack plus 3 attack and immune while attacking. So it's gonna be a 4/2 on the next turn when you attack, and it has stealth. So it's most likely gonna survive anyways. So this is a fantastic card. Okay, the best card that we have seen so far, this one, Ambusher. And lastly, this Jackpot here, yeah, it's just a for fun card. I don't think this will be played at all. Maybe just for fun, okay? Because yeah, I mean, just look at the effect. It's just random, just for fun. Okay, so moving on to Shaman. So 5 mana, summon 2/5/4 with Rush. Clearly, this is a very strong card. The only downside is it's very expensive at 5 mana, and it won't really fit. Okay, it could actually fit into the current Shaman. Okay, we've played the Shaman a few times, and this card can actually fit inside as a kind of removal, and also it has 2 minions. Okay, so good card overall, this one. So these two here are Murloc. So your next 2 Murlocs cost 2 less. Obviously, this is insane. So basically, it's 3 mana for 3/2. So it's missing 1 mana. It's 1 mana too expensive, but the effect gives you 4 mana. 2 less, next 2, so 4. So this card is basically free. It's basically a free card, which is insane value. So it's fantastic. And then this one, Dreadshift, is a Murloc summon a 2/2. So basically it's 4 mana for 6/6 stats, so that's also very good. But then we're gonna take a look at the Murlocs and see, can Shaman actually run Murloc? I mean, as you guys know, there's no Murloc Shaman right now, so we don't know if they will actually be able to play Shaman. I mean, yeah, we don't actually know if Shaman will actually be able to form a strong Murloc deck. Okay, so depends on that, whether these 2 cards will see play. But looking at them on its own, very strong cards. Okay, moving on to Warlock. Okay, this is legendary, this is bad. Your opponent's cards cost health instead of mana next turn. So what I see happening is you play this on 5 mana, and then your opponent is just gonna play their whole hand, and you're just gonna be very sad. Okay, because we all know that playing cards for health instead of mana is insane tempo, and I don't see how this card warrants a play. Like, imagine if you do this, right? If you play this, let's say you play this on turn 5 against a Boar Priest, I think the Boar Priest can just OTK you immediately after you play this card. Like a good Boar Priest, they'll be able to play everything. And like, okay, Alignment Druid is not so popular, but same thing. If you play this and the Alignment Druid gets his turn, you just instantly lose. Like, they just play Alignment, and then all their cards cost 1 health, and you just lose. So, very bad card. This one, Immolate's actually very strong card, depending on if you find a Warlock deck to play it. So I could see it being played in Curse Warlock, maybe the Fatigue Warlock, the Agony, more likely. So it's just kind of strong. Okay, so first of all, the bad part is that it's 4 mana, do nothing. But the good part is that, like, if you're against like let's say a Warlock versus a Warrior, this is just fantastic. You play this, so turn 4, a Warrior, as we know, a Warrior usually passes the first few turns, or they just trade, or they just play Shield Block. So imagine the warrior has like 6-7 cards. You play this on turn 4. Most likely they're gonna lose their whole hand. Okay, but once again, it does nothing when you play it, and it's in 3 turns later, so that might actually be too late. So basically you play this on turn 4, so your turn 4 is a pass, and then on turn 7, they lose their cards. So maybe they lose like, at most, maybe 5 cards. And then, I mean, at that time, who knows what's the board state like, how the game has progressed. So I would say it's pretty cool, and for an effect, it will see play in some kind of control warlock, but quite unlikely. Okay, for this one is just a value card here. So 3 mana for 4/2 is missing 1 stat, but you steal 2 health from a minion, so that compensates that. So this stat-wise is just a good card. Okay, stats-wise is a good card, but it doesn't have any particular synergy with either of the Warlock decks right now. So once again, not sure if it will actually see play. Okay, moving on to Warrior. Add a random Colossal. Yours costs 2 less. I don't see this being any good, because your opponent gets a Colossal as well and it's random. Okay, usually competitively you don't like random cards. I mean, because you have no control over it, and it might be good, it might be bad. Most people don't like to mess with the RNG like that. So I don't think you'll see this card being played. This one also, I don't think you'll see this being played. Dredge a card, gain armor to its cost is kinda meh. Like Warrior now, they have that 4 mana dragon. What's it called? Yeah, the Onyxian Drake. The one that the 4 mana 4/5 taunt that deal damage equal to your armor. That's just a much more superior card than this one. So this one will not see play. And once again, this one also will not see play. 8 mana, that's very expensive. Stats wise, it's not enough. Deal 5 damage, gain 8 armor. I don't know when a warrior will want to do this. Okay, like it just doesn't really fit. Okay, it's just not good enough. Just a really meh card. So okay, so finally moving on to the neutrals. So this Ozumat, for each of the tentacles, destroy a random enemy minion. Okay, first of all, it's a very, I would say it's a bad card. Hey there, Fauzi. I'm just going through the mini set cards. Yeah, so okay, so this Ozumat, I would say it's a bad card. So +6. Basically, it's gonna fill your whole board. And 8 mana, expensive. So it's hard to imagine that you get to put that on turn 8. You get to put this down, and your opponent has nothing. Okay, but this one, it is a beast. Okay, so maybe this will be good in the Hunter. If you get this out from Phelan, it costs 5 mana. So 5 mana is much more playable, and then it fills your whole board. This could see play. But see, it'll be from Phelan, so I wouldn't really craft or buy this card. And apart from the getting it from the Phelan on the Hunter and reducing the cost, for the full value of 8 mana, I wouldn't play this at all. So the other way of reducing cost is to get this from the Lady Ashara. So getting it from that, okay, this will also be a good card because it will cost 1. But on its own, no one would play this card. Okay, only if you get it cheaper from Ashara or from the Beast Hunter reduction. Okay, and then now here, Neptulon. Neptulon is very strong card because of the Rush and Wind Fury. And the hands will attack, right? So it's basically 8 damage times 2, which is fantastic. Basically, you play this and then you can clear 2 big minions. So this one more likely to see play. I will put this in Alignment Druid. But I guess there isn't really another deck that runs a 10 mana card. Like Warrior, they run Onyxia, same with Druid. But Warrior run that. I mean, Onyxia is just a very strong card, as strong as this. And you play it because you want to play Kazaku-san, so there's some kind of synergy there. This one on its own, there's no synergy, so while it is a very good card, it's doubtful whether it will see play. Once again, maybe just if you get it from Lady Ashara. Okay, maybe this is like one of the top cards you can get from Lady Ashara now. But if you get it from some other source, if you play it on its own, I think you only in Druid. I don't think anywhere else you'll play this card. Okay, then the Snapdragon, very interesting here. Give all Battlecry minions in your deck +1/+1. So basically it's like the Kalaseth. I don't know if you guys remember Kalaseth. What Kalaseth does is if you have no 2 mana cards, it will give +1/+1 to all the cards, all the minions in your deck. So this sounds similar to that, but this is only Battlecry minions. So although while the effect is good, I don't think it will see play because I'm not sure of a deck where you only have Battlecry minions. And this effect is more for an aggressive deck, so maybe in a hunter, maybe it can fit into a face hunter. So going along with the card earlier here that I said was good, this one also Battlecry. So maybe there might be some face hunter deck where there are a few spells. So maybe like a 10 spell or 8 spell face hunter deck with all Battlecry. Maybe that can happen. Seems likely. Okay, but like I said, I'm not good with crafting decks. I don't have the dust to do it, that's why I don't even bother. So yeah, but I think maybe this could be good. So this one is a very good card for control deck. Aggro deck, unlikely you'll play this, but for control deck, you might look at 3 cards in your opponent's hand and choose one. It can't be played next turn. So pretty much this is better than even the okay, somewhat similar to the Okani. So when you play Okani, you counter a card at random. I mean, you pick it, but for your opponent, they have to guess whether it's a spell or a minion. And this one pretty much does the same thing. You block one of their cards for next turn. So I guess in a control deck, maybe it's good. Otherwise, maybe not. Okay, and then lastly, this Bubbler. I don't know how this Bubbler is gonna see play. If this takes exactly 1 damage, destroy it. So we're thinking about decks with 1 damage. So if you look at the current meta, right? Who is gonna play this? I don't know. And looking at the enemy decks, okay, let's say you're going against Paladin. Paladin, maybe against a Paladin, this card might be good because Paladin doesn't have 1 damage. Then again, Holy Paladin, it does have. Holy Paladin has a lot of 1 attack minions, so this card sucks against them. Against Warrior, I guess this card will be good. Against Druid, this is bad. Druid will just hero power. Mage can just hero power. Rogue can just hero power. Against Hunter is good, but as you guys have seen from last night, pretty much we are the only ones playing Hunter at High Legend. So maybe this is also good against Priest. No, not against Priest. So Boar Priest against a weak Priest. I don't know which deck will run this. Yeah, but against Boar Priest, it's just gonna die to whatever. So yeah, I don't see this card being played as well. Okay, so that's all for the mini set cards. Overall, I will say the best card is this one here, the Inkvale Ambusher. I would say this is the best card. Like, you can instantly throw this into a rogue and it's already kind of valuable. Although I don't know whether it'll fit into the slots for a rogue deck. The slots are kind of tight, but this is just outright a strong card. If Murloc Shaman gets developed, these are very strong cards. This is also pretty okay. But strictly looking at the legendaries, 1, 2, 3, and where's the last one? Here, 4. I would not buy the mini sets. Okay, of course, I could be completely wrong, but from what I think, I highly doubt that this mini set is particularly strong. For most of the cards here to even be played, new decks need to be developed, so we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, that's